rising yearly class. But it's a pretty full summer for them. And it's hard, trying to plan a family vacation is a moving target. I mean, your best chance is that during that time that I mentioned, and just plan it, and if it works, it works. Otherwise, you're probably never gonna get your vacation in. Unless you wanna just stay home and hang out, and that's okay too. But I know some people like to get to the beach or go to the lake or, do something, so.
It's funny to see the
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for answering my question.
Oh, no problem.
So my son wants to play a sport. Should he talk with the athlete admissions or the regular admissions for his area? Or
I would first start with reaching out to the sports team that he's interested in. If you go to the Army Athletics webpage, there's usually a candidate questionnaire on there. Complete that with a little resume, what he's playing, where he's played it, if it's like a sport that is like say cross country or swimming, what are your times? If it's a team sport, where have you played? Are you playing in any showcases? Where is that? Where are you playing? If you're like soccer, an elite soccer player, Olympic development, Premier Leagues, that kind of stuff.
should he do it if he's interested in 2 different sports? Should he do it for both?
Why not?
Okay. So he has to do them at separate times. I think he went in. He definitely did it. I think for crew, but he wanted football. And I wasn't
Now
sure.
crew's a little bit different because crew is a club sport. It's
Okay.
it's not one of our NCAA sports. Football, definitely reach out to the football program, and also who's your coach? Is there film available? That kind of stuff.
Okay.
You really, if you want to, and I mean, this is just I'm just watching what's going on in Division I athletics. And our son did play on one of our teams. You really have to kind of promote yourself if you want to play on one of those teams. We do take walk-ons. The coaches will entertain having walk-ons for most sports. There are some that it's difficult based on the facility and the equipment involved. But for the most part, they will. A lot of the sports will entertain having walk-ons. Give it a shot. It's hard. It's hard because the kids have had such great experiences through athletics, through high school, and they're great athletes. But it's a leap sometimes to get to that Division I competitive level, and it's okay if they can. They're better off if they can say, if that doesn't happen, then I've got all these other options, because we've got like 100 and some odd clubs here. So somebody who maybe doesn't, wants to do football, doesn't make the football team, guess what? We have a national caliber rugby team that a lot of the football players sometimes gravitate towards. Or maybe they're, big kid, maybe learn how to be a thrower for, our track team. There's so many other things for them here. With kids, kids will turn away from the sport, and next thing you know, they're jumping out of a helicopter. They're on our parachute team. It's
Is there a ski team here?
I'm sorry?
A ski team?
We do have a ski, I don't know if it's necessarily a ski team, but we have a ski, but they do go on weekends. That's another great way, especially for plebes. If they enjoy skiing, there's ski trips on the weekends if you're part of that ski club. So, they don't go too far away, but actually, I think
passed
the
the West
club
Point
team,
ski. We passed the West Point ski. It said open to the public. I was like, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know West Point had a
our
ski.
little tiny ski slope.
Yeah.
I do remember that there was the ski team / club did go to Maine a couple of years ago to compete at Sugarloaf. So yes, they do compete. Now that I think about it, I forgot about that. Such a great mountain up there that we have in Maine. A little biased. Sorry. Any other questions I can help with? Yes, sir.
Any travel restrictions for a cadet when he's not on campus, like flying to Europe to visit relatives or anything like that? Does he need to notify somebody, or?
They have to go through a little bit of a briefing type, a little bit of a, it's like training, kind of. But yes, as a member of the military, there is I'm going to, this is where I'm gonna be. They do have to put that information in. And if it's a country that, there are travel restrictions, they might be told, no, you're not going there. Typically Europe is, as far as I know, has generally been okay, unless the State Department has come out with something, like we had travel bans for a bit when we had some craziness going on over in Europe, but I think right now everything is talking to their chain of command, hey, my parents are planning on taking me to wherever it is, and what do I need to do to make that happen? And they'll usually give them a little briefing on what they need to do, what they need to complete before they can, before they go take that trip. Yes, ma'am?
If there's a death in the family,
Mm-hmm.
are the cadets having the opportunity to leave?
Typically, we are very supportive of them
Or
coming
serious
home.
illness or?
We can accommodate, we have